Welcome to the online class. Uh, Already I have revised the first two lessons from the civics part. Today I am going to continue the revision from the third chapter civics, that is human rights. Human rights. First we start the revision from the choose the correct answer. Already I have marked all the answers, just revising once all these answers. Just listen. Apartheid was followed by South Africa. It is one of the racial discrimination followed in South Africa, that is known as apartheid. Then dash right, that is political right exercised in the formation and administration of government. Many rights, social rights, economic rights are there, but here the political right exercised in the formation and administration of a government. A 10-year-old boy is working in a shop. Which right can you use recover him? That is right against child labor exploitation. This right can use to recover the boy from this child labor. What is the time limit to get information from Right to Information Act of 2005? Right to information. If you want to get any information about the rights, human rights, you will get about 30 days. Which of the following statements are true? Some of the statements, up to four statements are given. Which of the statements are true? That is D option. Statement 2, 3 and 4 are true. Consider the following statement, that is ascertain and reason. The ascertain and reason, A option, both A and R are correct. R explains A. According to a child is a person who has not completed the age of 18. That is World United Nations Organization. According to United Nations Organization, child means up to the age of 18. Kailash Satyarthi, Malala have been awarded Nobel Prize for Peace. Fill in the blanks. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights contains 30 articles. 30 articles. Fundamental duties are incorporated in the Constitution by the 42nd Amendment Act in 1976. Fundamental duties. Fundamental duties included in the Constitution later, that is 42nd Amendment of the Constitution, which took place in the year 1976. National Human Rights Commission was established on 12th October 1993. Indian state to implement Women Ancestral Property Act in 1989 was Tamil Nadu. Match the following. Right to vote. Right to vote. That is political right. Right to form union. That is right to freedom. Right to preserve tradition. That is cultural right. Hindu Succession Act. That is 2005. Child labor, right against exploitation. Now the two more questions, give short answers. What is human right? What is human right? That is page number 254. there is a heading about what are human rights. Human rights, that small paragraph. The rights inherent to all human beings, regardless of race, gender, nationality, ethnicity, language, religion, or any other status. Everyone is entitled to these rights without discrimination. Up to that, we have marked that answer. So, human right is right to enjoy. All must enjoy the rights. Every human being must enjoy the right. That is the human right without any discrimination. Some of the discrimination here mentioned: without gender discrimination, racial discrimination, ethnicity, nationality, language, religion, or any other status. Without all this discrimination, everyone must enjoy the right, that is human rights. The second question: what are the fundamental rights? Fundamental rights mentioned here. Some of the fundamental here mentioned about 6 fundamental rights. That is page number 255. There is a heading about fundamental rights. Here given about 6 points, 6 fundamental rights. That is mentioned in the Constitution, Indian Constitution. Right to equality. Everyone must be treated equal. Right to freedom. Everyone must enjoy the freedom of the country. Right against exploitation. Exploitation, especially the child labor. Especially the child labor. That is right against exploitation. Right to freedom of conscience and religion. Religious freedom. Then cultural and educational right for minorities. That is any language we can learn, up to any degree we can learn, any job we can take, all that for minorities. Right to constitutional remedies. If anyone feel that the rights are denied, they can get the constitutional remedies. For that, the highest court to lower court is established in our country, India, to get the constitutional remedies. What are the child rights defined by UNO? Child rights. That is page number 258. 258. Child rights. Child rights also mentioned in the Constitution. Here it is given about 6 or 7 child rights. Right to life. The child has having the right to live. Right to family environment. The child has to live the family environment. The child must get education. The child right to benefit from the social security from the society. The child has to get social security. Right against sexual exploitation. The child must be free from that child sexual exploitation. Right against sale or trafficking, buying and selling. That is happen. The children are facing this problem. That is right against sale or trafficking. Right against other forms of exploitation like child labor. The child has to be free from the exploitation, that is especially from the child labor. These are all the rights the child mentioned. That is child rights. These are all the child rights. Then the fourth 2 mark, write a short note on the right to constitutional remedies. Page number 257. Right to constitutional remedies. If any one of the fundamental rights is denied, if the person feels that the fundamental right is denied, the person can approach the court. Approach a court. That is page number 257. By this right, a person can, under the heading right to constitutional remedies, second line, by this right, a person can adopt constitutional means and approach a court. Anyone feels that is right, any one of the fundamental rights, if he feels that it is denied, he can approach a court. If he is denied the fundamental rights, the court then issues order which are called writs to the government to restore the rights to the citizen. The person can approach the court to issue an order that is known as writ to the particular person to enjoy the fundamental rights. The court will issue an order if he approaches the court. Fifth one, define POCSO. Define POCSO. Page number 260. The column it is given, that is POCSO. POCSO Act, that means Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act. The Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act 2012 regards the best interest of the child as being of paramount importance of every stage. Every stage the child has to be protected, especially from the sexual offense. That is POCSO, Protection of Children from Sexual Offences. To protect the children from these sexual offences, now an act was passed. That is POCSO, Protection of Children from the Sexual Offence. That is passed 2012. Why do children need special attention? Why do children need special attention? Children must be protected at every stage. At every stage, the children must be protected. Why? Children are subjected to sale or trafficking for various reasons. For various reasons, children are buying and selling illegally. That act takes place. So, children must be protected. Various reasons: economic exploitation, sexual abuse, drug trafficking, and child labor. So these are the reasons the children must be protected. They are facing so much of problems in the small age. If they are affected, their life will be spoiled. So they have to be protected at the earlier stage, the childhood stage, they have to be protected. What are the contributions to laborers by B.R. Ambedkar? That is page number 262. Page number 262. The box it is given, contribution of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. This is a 2-mark question. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, you know very well about B.R. Ambedkar. He was an architect of Indian Constitution. He was the head of the drafting committee of the Constitution. For the welfare of the laborers, he has passed many laws. That is given here about 6 laws here mentioned for the protection of laborers. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar contribution to laborers, people who are working in the industries. Reduction in factory working hours. According to the factory law, laborers must work in the factories only 8 hours. Those days they used to work more than 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours like that they used to work. But they used to pay very low wages. So the timing, the reduction of factory working hours, that is 8 hours. Even now also they are following the same 8 hours work. Compulsory recognition of trade unions. Union among the traders, that is compulsory. The union, traders union must get the recognition from the government. That is compulsory. Employment exchange in India. To get the employment opportunities, they have to register the names in the employment exchanges. Through the employment exchanges, they used to get the job opportunities based on the seniority. That is employment exchange in India. Employee state insurance, ESI. Every employee must get register the name in the ESI. That is employee state insurance. Minimum wages for laborers. Minimum wage for laborers, people who are laborers who are working 8 hours, they have to pay, the employer must pay the laborers this much of amount that is fixed. Minimum wages for laborers. Coal and mica mines provident fund. Many people working in the coal field, mica field, mines, many people are working. For them, the provident fund is collected at when they retire. They pay the certain amount for them. That is the betterment of the people who are working in the mines, especially coal mines and mica mines. That also set up by this B.R. Ambedkar. These are all the steps taken by B.R. Ambedkar for the welfare of the laborers. All are equal before law, but we have enacted a separate law for women justified. All are equal before law. That is page number 261, first in the box it is given, the second line, when girls get married early, they lose many privileges. Those days, children used to get married in the childhood. Now the government has taken steps to limit the age. There is an age limit nowadays. Those days there was no age limit at any age. The girls used to get married, even very small age, 6, 7, 8 like that. That small age they used to get the marriage. If they get married earlier, they lose many privileges. Many privileges they are losing. That is especially the childhood happiness, availing education and healthy life. They are losing the healthy life if they are getting married in the very early stage. So many problems they are facing if they are getting married in the early stage. Then the next one is Right about the right against exploitation. Right against the exploitation. This is one of the fundamental rights of the. That is page number 256. Right against exploitation. Page number 256. There is a heading about right against exploitation. That paragraph to be marked for this answer. It is against the law to employ children below 14 years of age in mines. Here the children means less than 15 years. Less than 15 years. Up to the age of 14 the child must be there in the school. They should not send the child to work. Years of age in mines, factories or other occupation. They should not employ the children below 14 years. That is must. Neither contractor nor an employer can force a worker to do job against their will. That is, the employer should not force the child to work against their will. That is exploitation. That is exploitation. That is right against exploitation. They can get the constitutional remedy if they are going against these rights. They are going, any employer or contractor go against these rights, they can approach the court, they can get the remedy through the court. Differentiate fundamental rights and human rights. That is also same page number 256, that is given in the column. Differences between human rights and fundamental rights. First about human rights. Here about the human rights, 3 points are given. First one is rights that a human being deserves to survive with respect and freedom. Human beings getting the rights as a citizen. They are getting the human rights. Human rights include those rights which are basic to real life and absolute. One cannot be taken away. These rights, human rights cannot be taken away from anybody. Nobody can take away the rights from anyone. That is human rights. Human rights are organized at the international level. Human rights says about the international level, throughout the world, it is applicable, these human rights. Then fundamental rights, the elemental rights of the citizen of a country. It says the fundamental rights says about the particular country, which are listed in the constitution or enforceable under the law known as fundamental rights. Constitution of our country, India, says about the fundamental rights. Fundamental rights include only those rights which are basic for normal life. The fundamental rights which mentioned in the Constitution is the basic for the normal life. Fundamental rights are guaranteed under the Constitution of the country. It is guaranteed to the citizen of the country by. It is mentioned in the Constitution. The Constitution gives guarantee to the citizen of a country. What are the fundamental rights? In our country, the Constitution says about 6 fundamental rights. If any one of the fundamental rights denied to the citizen, they can approach the court to get the remedy. So today I have revised all these 1 words and 2 mark. You can study for the annual exam. Okay, thank you. Can you stop?